Welcome to the Warcraft 3 audio commentary. Today we're watching game number 3 of this series that is presumably a best of 5 between two players who are undead and elf that we're going to go ahead and introduce because their names speak for themselves. They don't need no introduction. On the right side of the map, on Echo Isles, we have Xixi, spawning in as the Red Knight Elf. Is going for the Ancient War, creepy, reepy deepy onto this mercenary camp, most likely also on this little guy, and then on these Murlocs over here. So there's all sorts of things that he can do, and this is a telltale giveaway for a Dark Ranger build. So we're gonna be seeing the Dark Ranger come out. That'll be pretty much cool. On the left side of the map, which again, in case you didn't hear me, is Echo Isles. We have one of the coolest cats around, the purple Hope for undead. HopeStar! Har har, he's a pirate. He's not really a pirate, so don't take that literally. He's gonna go ahead and scout with the Acolyte. It's good to get some information on this. He's gonna scout with the Acolyte, or he's not gonna scout with the Acolyte. He's gonna kill the sheep and then scout with the Acolyte, which is good too, because that means you have some skeletons ready for you and you can just zip across the map. You just kind of move your Death Knight down here. You spawn in words. You spawn in some skeleton warriors, and then everything just goes over here, and you try to go for as ham on these wisps as you can. That is your absolute goal, for multiple reasons, but because he's a Dark Ranger first, it means he's a Tavern Hero build, which means there's gonna be an altar late, and you pretty much can guess on this map. We've seen Demon Hunters occasionally, but Dark Ranger is really, we've even seen Warden on this map, but Dark Ranger is the trope on this map. And that's what we're going to expect. That's what every undead's going to expect. And he's going to scout just to be sure. He sees, it's a late altar. Okay, it's definitely the Dark Ranger. So that's what we're going to be seeing, and that means he's going to want to do. Here's the thing. Dark Ranger will creep faster than Jesus. You cannot out-creep the Dark Ranger. The dude is so fast. Like, just crazy fast, especially on this map where, look at all these little dudes. This turns into a skeleton. This is a skeleton. This is a skeleton. All of those guys are skeletons. Those are 3 more skeletons. Oh, look at all these low dudes. All of those guys. There's like, you can get... 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sorry, 7 skeletons from this creep. That's so many skeletons, and skeletons just make you creep even faster, and then you can like harass with those skeletons while you creep with the rest of your army. It's insane. You will never out creep them ever. Don't even think about it, HopeStar. What is going on? This is not how anyone plays. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I haven't watched the meta in forever. But everyone harasses this because it creeps so fast. I could understand if he was if the undead HopeStar wanted to creep this. If he wanted to creep this, because that's kind of one of the things the elf ends up creeping. If you want to creep the stuff that the elf creeps, that makes sense. Okay, that you're denying skeletons, you're denying XP. That's a type of harass. Okay, I'm good with that. But this is like a weird late creep. He never creeps this early. I don't know. I don't even know. If he creeps this, he's level 2, so I guess it is good that he picks up level 2. That means he can micro a little bit better with his death coils, but he's given a lot of free XP right now that could have easily intercepted all of this, could have denied all of this. But I guess he prefers his level 2. Oh, I guess it's not a bad call, because being level 2 on the Death Knight means you have Death Coil and Aura. Being level 2 on the Dark Ranger basically means you still just have skeletons. You don't really have the mana to use your other abilities here. You can in a pinch, but for the most part, you're not really going to. Using the offensive Death Coil, it's not a bad idea to use a little bit of them, I think. But against this, you really want them to be defensive. In fact, I would say it's probably a smarter thing just to use all of them defensively, because you want to prevent. Because every ghoul that dies is going to turn into a skeleton, basically, which means that if you lose army, you're giving your opponent army, which is okay if you're trying to kill their skeletons, I guess, for XP, just level everybody up pretty quickly. But a high-level Dark Ranger is kind of a pain to deal with, so probably not what you want to be doing. Just a thought, I don't know. And plus, you probably won't even get to kill them because these guys, they just pile up so fast. They do so much damage. You don't really have the life or the sustain to really stay in there and deal with that. So that was an interesting play. I don't know that he did a whole lot. I mean, he did slow the elf down a little bit. If he catches up in XP, well, I mean, he has caught up in XP, so I guess there's that. But it looks to me like the elf player is getting ready to just turn around and just mass a whole bunch of XP at this point. What I want to see right now, I really would like to see this, and I don't think he can do it because he doesn't have fiends yet. But I would like to see him go ahead and creep this, the undead. If the undead crept this shop up here, or the marketplace rather, then he would take half the middle. He would take the whole middle of the map, and then he could kind of, you know, fight to control his side of the map and take all of his XP on his side, which would actually mean that he gets more XP out of the map by a significant amount than the elf player does, which is pretty cool. I mean, the elf at this point is going to have enough XP on his side to really get to level, if he wants to, depending on how he does it. Well, no, he's not gonna get to level 5. I mean, because he's gonna creep this right now. If he waited till tier 3, if he went straight into harass and then he came back, and then he might have enough to get to level 5, but I don't know. Because he would get some XP from the harass, and then he's picked up a panda, so he's not. That's not even a thing. That's not even a thing. Ignore everything I just said. It's not even a thing. But he does go for this this creep. He's probably going to go for the, well, I say he's probably going to go for the expansion. A lot of times, Tree of Life would be right here, and then you move it down. But he's not doing that either. He is not doing that. Everything I know is wrong. Everything I know is a lie. No, you don't have to go for the expansion. Especially on this map, you don't have to go for the expansion because you got quite a while. But he's bringing a wisp down here. This could be for scouting or for the expansion. What do you know? He's just doing it differently than what I was expecting. That's all. Vindicated. Sure, why not? Going for the cancel on the Ancient of Lores. It's always a good thing to do. The elf is now on your side of the map, however, and he's going to power creep. No, he is not. He says, I'm gonna just make sure. I'm gonna try to prevent you from canceling both of them because he's obviously getting one, and actually he's definitely gonna prevent him from canceling the second one. Not even close. There's just so much damage output from that elf army. So always good. Classic thing. Really classic to cancel those Ancient of Lores if at all possible. Now I'm gonna go for the Tree of Life cancel. This is a pretty good reason why you might have wanted to build it up there and then walk it down, just a thought. But no, there's the cancel on that as well. He's trying to make it detonate, but he doesn't really want to make it detonate on the skeletons. It's not going to end up happening though, because it would suck to have to detonate that. It's better to detonate it and get some XP than to not detonate it and not get XP. So there's that. But other than that, it's, you know, he's trying to keep this guy around. He's got enough mana for Death Coil. He actually has the Lich in here now as well. The Lich could go for a Frost Nova. On what? I don't know. I don't know what he's going to fry. He could go for that Wisp. He's going to kill the Wisp. He's going to have to Death Coil the Lich, which is going to bring him all the way back up to life. Full life, in fact. But I don't know what he's... he must have Frost Nova'd something. I might have Frost Nova'd the Forest Troll Shadow Priest. I didn't see it. I don't know. But he was ready. He could do something if he wanted to. Anyway, so that is a significant delay. That expansion would be close to 3/4 of the way done right now, and instead it was canceled. And also the second Wisp that will get Frost Nova'd, and it will die. So that's going to delay this expansion even more. So this is some really smart play here from HopeStar. Pretty clever, if I say so myself. Sure, why not? And there. I'll say it myself. So tier 3 now for the undead player. He's got lots of fiends, lots of ghouls, got a statue. He can get the Naga as his last hero. Could potentially have backpack at this point. He could. Does he? He doesn't. He could research it and then pick up an Orb of Corruption, meet his whole army here at the tavern, get the Naga, and then do like some kind of cold doom push on the expansion and kill everything. That would be pretty swell. I'm not gonna lie, I would like to see that. Not going to see that. He's going to pick up the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on the Death Knight, which is a good call. The expansion now going up for the Elf player. He does have those Ancient of Lores both up and pumping Dryads at this point. Dryads go really well with the army that Dark Rangers have because Dark Rangers make units that are summons. The natural counter to summons are Destroyers, and the natural counter to Destroyers are Dryads. So if you mass Dryads, they can't mass Destroyers and just completely decimate your bear skeletal army. Plus, it doesn't make sense to put bears in this army, really, because you're going to have pretty much all this heavy melee tanking on the dark minions anyway. It always is good to have a couple bears regardless, just because they rejuvenate. You're going to see a really nice staff on the mercenary there. And a little bit of fighting. He's got the Crypt Fiend. It's ensnared, but that would never die. Like, you would have to do a lot of damage and... Well, actually, there's not enough mana for a Death Coil, so he will die. He will die. I was wrong. Also, he was blocked by his own skeletons. Not good. Also, those Giants have Abolish Magic. They can get rid of those skeletons quite easily, so that's always good. Lots of XP. Dark Ranger at level 4, Panda at level 2. Not bad, not bad. And I'm expecting... You almost have to have Destroyers against Dark Ranger first. it becomes even more important when there's a panda second, because the panda can haze, and you can dispel haze, and that's really critical. If you dispel a haze before the breath of fire hits those units, then there's no haze fire, and haze fire is significantly worse. It lasts like a really long time. You can't dispel haze fire. It's just a dot that lasts the whole time. You take damage the whole time, and also you're missing and you're slower, and it's really bad. It's like being hazed the whole time for like, I think, twice as long or something. So if you can actually eat the haze, massive advantage in a fight. And further, the second reason you need destroyers for the summons, and finally because he can go silence, and then he can silence your Death Knight to kill your Lich, because you won't have a death coil, because you'll be silenced. So another reason for having destroyers. So lots and lots of really fantastic reasons to have destroyers. I don't have any clue if he's researched it. I have no idea, but he's got three statues, so I'm gonna say it's a pretty good call that he does, you know, for all those aforementioned reasons, and because he has 3 of them. You never really get 3 of them unless you got destroyers, because otherwise you don't really need 3 of them. Well, I say that in some rare situations where you're going for really long fights, you do need 3 of them, just so that they don't run out of mana. It's like important to have an extra mana battery. Or you can do it with 2 if you're willing to like do just mana or just health. But if you have 3, you can do all of them. But normally you don't get them all at the same time. You get the 2, and then once they get low on mana, then you get the 3rd pumped out, which is more efficient. So I would doubt that's what he's doing here, because getting all 3 at once is kind of crazy. Does have a Meat Wagon out. Meat Wagon, obviously a great counter to Dryads. Very good. It does siege damage. Hits very hard, 71 to 88. And for siege, you know, these guys, or if I can find one, they have unarmored. So siege damage hitting that, they take extra damage. It hurts. So, you know, just a thought. And yeah, so there you go. Are we even going to see a 3rd hero? Oh yeah, there it is. The Naga Sea Witch, obviously going for the push. And here's the destroyer coming out. The first destroyer doesn't really need to morph the other statues just yet. Probably won't even do it unless they're going to die or something. Or if he just thinks, oh, I could really use a bit of extra damage on their heroes. I don't know. Obviously, you can't Death Coil the Dark Ranger, which is one of the cool benefits of getting the Dark Ranger on top of everything else. There's the Haze Fire. Didn't quite get the Dispel off in time. That's okay. Ghoul gonna go down, gonna get turned into a Dark Minion. That's gonna get focused down, but it also did get dispelled, so you know the destroyer has a bit of mana for that and gets a little bit of HP. Not a lot. Gonna focus on the Panda. The Panda's gonna pop a potion of lesser invulnerability. We do have an Abomination out as well. Abomination and Meat Wagon's wonderful. The Meat Wagon's actually going straight for the Tree of Life just to make this a little bit more difficult for the Elf player to micro and deal with, because you have to now multitask the fight. Plus that, we're gonna see a burrow on the Fiend, it looked like, but he's gonna get dusted and he's gonna be picked off. Second Fiend about to maybe go down right here. Getting a high-level Dark Ranger is one great way. If you can get to level 6, you can actually turn a lot of games around just from Charm, how ridiculously good it is. But that Dark Ranger doesn't have any actual way to get away from this other than just running. He's at 15 HP, and he might be able to outrun that Death Knight, but he might not. He's going to be able to take one hit here in just a second, possibly. Down he goes! So close to that Goblet Merchant where he could have bought a TP or a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, or a Scroll of Healing, any kind of number of things that would have been really good for him right there. The Panda also taking mass amounts of hit. The Lich is going to be chasing him down. We do have a Naga chasing as well. Panda's going to get out of there, get in range of the Ancient of Wonders plus the Moonwells, and we're going to see these Dryads just kind of get picked off at this point. The Naga going to get taken down by Breath of Fire. Panda picking up level 4, and we're going to see more of these Dryads on their way out of this game towards this base up here, which really, there's nothing Dryads can really do against an Abomination and a high-level Lich with an Orb, level 5 Death Knight. The Death Knight has full mana on the Death Knight, 100 mana on the Lich. We're going to see one of those statues going down to a Breath of Fire. That's okay. Doesn't really hurt him. Tree of Life is dead. Meat Wagon made sure of that. Meat Wagon also has died, it looks like. That's okay. These things happen. It did its job. Its definitive job was to take out that expansion, as it turns out, and it did it quite well. Gonna see some nukes going down maybe on the Panda. The Panda's gonna get eaten those Moonwell juices, but he doesn't really care too much because he is pretty tanky. He's got a potion of health as well as a potion of mana, but that might not be enough. He gets a round of these nukes. That's a level 5 Death Knight. Hits very hard. Also a level 3 Lich, but the Lich is now out of mana. Should have plenty of mana for Death Coils to keep the Lich alive, but boom! A bit of Miss Micro is actually going to cost that Lich his life. That Death Coil being slightly too late. I didn't even think that was going to happen because he had so much mana on that Death Knight. But just a bit of Miss Micro. A bit of bad timing. And the Panda actually halfway through level 4 and now pushing out. Now this is actually a difficult fight for the Undead. It's not impossible. It's definitely not impossible, but it's just more difficult. Because now Now the Death Knight's very low on mana. A really good job to dodge that Breath of Fire, because that Breath of Fire hits really bad, and he's got plenty more where that came from. He's got a mana potion, he's got enough mana for another Breath of Fire right now. He's going to take some healing on the healing wells. The moon wells, the healing wells. Taking some nukes down, though. He's got to be careful. That was the last death coil for a little while as well. Down the Death Knight down to 11 HP, or rather 11 mana. Dark Ranger on his way out also, so this is going to be a potentially bad spot for the undead. Once that comes back up, this Tree of Life's going back up as well. And we're going to look at the main gold mine for a second. That's only got 4,500 gold left in it, which is actually plenty for him to remax and buy some items. So if he loses this fight, it's not the end of the game. He will get another attempt at this, but he could still win here. If he can kill enough of these units. If he can really just get a kill on the heroes, you know, I mean, basically, this is an army that should not really, other than the Panda's nukes and maybe some nice silences, the Elf doesn't really win this fight because Dryads are just not that great against the Tri-Hero here. They're really not, but that Nog is taking so much damage. He's going to go for the Forked Lightning Nuke on the Dark Ranger. He's going to go for the Frost Nova as well. He's going to focus it down. He might be able to kill it. He kills it again. And that is a really bad engagement for the Elf. It's a good trade to lose a level 2 Nagasi, which for a level 4 Dark Ranger every time you can make that trade. The Panda is very low. It's just the beginning of day. There's no more Moonwells left. It's looking really, really good for the undead. Like, it is looking insanely good for the undead. He did lose the Naga, but that just does not matter. At this point, the Elf has run out of sustain, and whenever we see someone run out of sustain in these long fights, it tends to mean they lose the game, unless they have like a severe economic advantage, and we aren't seeing that kind of thing right now. Another Death Coil going to go ahead and pop off that Panda, and good game's going to be called by Xixi, and that was game number 3. So presumably there's a 4th game. We'll check and see. But before we go into that, final analysis of that game. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed that game. It was a lot of action. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. I don't know what to say. Xixi, I mean, there were so many things. There were so many close calls in those micro battles that I think it could have gone either way, just depending on who microed that one better. So that was really fantastic. But that is going to be the last game for today. And I'm looking right now, and I don't actually see another game. So it might have been a best of 3 that was, and we got the games out of order. That is possible. I have no idea. But yeah, that's going to be all the games for that series, it looks like. So, self-contained cast night. That's fun. So we will do more casts tomorrow. But I don't know what the series will be, so we'll have to figure that out. You can always leave a suggestion for a series that you would like to watch us cast, or you would like to watch me cast, rather, at Kirby.com, or Kirby@gmail.com. It's on the big blue background setup. Just drop an email over there. You can always tweet me suggestions as well at Twitter.com/SirKirby. You can write me PMs or comments or whatever at YouTube.com/SirKirby. Or you can directly chat with me here in the Twitch chat at twitch.tv/Kirby. So feel free to make suggestions. I do read them. And I do take them into consideration, and I think that they're very useful. But there you go. That's all we have for tonight. So thanks for watching, everyone. I will see you next time. This has been great cast, great fun. Enjoyed the series, enjoyed the players, enjoyed the chat. You guys are cool. I love you all. And that's everything I have to say. So I'm gonna sign off and say goodbye.